Jonny, you obviously go into this game off the back of the Worcester result, which was a fantastic result, but I suppose in your mind, those 2 late tries for the Warriors, just sort of something to keep the players on their toes?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously disappointing to concede. I think first and foremost, the boys had played incredibly well. They had put in a great performance on both sides of the ball, really, for probably 70 minutes, and a couple of loose turnovers gave them a couple of cheap scores. And as a defence coach and a stingy defence coach who doesn't like to give away, that frustrates a little. But looking at the bigger picture, we're going into this weekend with with a side that we believe is going to go there and do the job, and we need to go to Treviso and we need to win there. And in my experience, it's a difficult place to go. Somebody asked me, is it a foregone conclusion you go to Treviso and you win? And I've never had that experience there, and I don't think it's going to be any different this weekend. They're going to be gunning for Six Nations spots. We know we want to try and do as well in this competition as we possibly can, and that starts and stops with winning this weekend.
And can your experience and the experience of others, I'm thinking, James Hook when he played in it, and David Humphries obviously, sort of with Ulster along with yourself, can all that experience just sort of help going to a side where Gloucester, haven't been for quite a few years?
Well, I think obviously the players are trying to. They're the ones that are doing it out on the pitch. You can give them a taste and the vision that they've seen this week and last week of what Treviso bring. Will prepare them. We've got to be mentally in the right place. I mean, things are in our hands, and we've got to make sure that we're not going to top this group if we lose this weekend. So that's first and foremost. If we want to do well in this competition, we've got to win this weekend, and the rest will fall in behind that. So Treviso, they're a proud team at home. Their away fixtures hitting their away results haven't been great, but when you get them in Treviso in front of their home crowd, playing for some Six Nations spots as well, then you're getting a different animal. So if you're off the money at all, well, you could get turned over.
And I suppose, all right, yes, you'll no doubt look up what La Rochelle do, but this is kind of a semi-final to the final of the group, isn't it? At this stage, with penultimate match.
Yeah, well, obviously La Rochelle are playing Bayonne this evening in Bayonne, so and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand La Rochelle probably in the box seat, but it's important that we deliver a performance this weekend that gets us what we need, and obviously we need maximum points from all the rest of the games, and but it starts and stops when you go away from home with winning. If you get anything after that, well, that's a bonus.
How important to set up that win is not allowing the home side any encouragement in the first sort of 20 minutes, the opening stages?
Well, it's incredibly important. You want to silence the crowd. You don't want to give them. You want to give them hope, because when you give a team hope with a crowd behind them, that hope grows, and it can become pretty fiery. So they're a big set piece oriented team. So Trevor's been beating the drum about making sure that we dominate set piece. I think then we've got to control the ball when we have the ball, and then when we haven't got the ball, we must be physical. We must be abrasive, because they're big men. They run incredibly hard, and they've got some nice players who can just create things. And if you're loose and you don't control the ball well, and you miss and fall off tackles, they'll get in behind you. And we defended well when we played them at Kingsholm. But we had a missed tackle, bang, and they're in behind you, and there's a score. So you can magnify that at home. We get the crowd in the back, and if you're loose early doors, you just give them hope that grows and grows and grows, and then you could be in for a torrid afternoon.
After last weekend was so good, how difficult is selection this week?
Well, look, there's players who are coming back from long-term injuries. There's players who are playing very well, and so that makes selection difficult. But it's a nice position to be in. But we're taking across a squad who we feel are going to win the game, and that's the strongest squad we've got available to us. So that's what we're treating this game with the utmost respect. We're not, somebody asked about academy players, and we're not mixing and we're picking a side that we feel is going to win this game first and foremost.
And actually, being able to pick from that size of squad's been a luxury of late, with those players coming back from injury. As they find their form, are they also sort of coming through the games okay, sort of no setbacks? I'm thinking the likes of Tom Marshall maybe, sort of pitched in at the deep end, flying colours, and then sort of, is it a nervous wait on a Monday for, fingers crossed there's no reaction?
obviously you just, I suppose, there's a lot of players you could say whenever they're coming back from injury, you want to see how they pitch up on a Monday morning. The nature of the game at the minute is so physical. So yeah, look, I mean, but players the likes of Tom, they're seasoned. You could see by his performance at the weekend, hadn't played a game in whatever number of months and just dropped back in. It was kind of seamless. So players of that sort of quality they just have that inherent ability just to get back into things again. So unfortunately we don't have too many boys who it's too much of a. We just make sure that they're physically in the right place and ready to go, and it's about getting just game time again and keep growing and getting up to speed.